Talking to Buck's gun shop. I got my mic on. Howdy everyone. Buck here. Another Tuesday night. Got a hunt planned later on, 8 o'clock. So we're gonna be talking a lot about that. As you can see, we're gonna be hunting mule deer. Let me go get the door open to the gun shop. I got that. Where are we at here, Buck? Get over there. Buck's gun shop. There we are. All right, door's open. Well, we're going after. Better get my screen over here first so I know what I'm doing over here. There we are, Buck. That looks a little bit better. Yeah. We're going after muleys, guys, right here on the EHR. Now, the muleys are, they're on, oh, why did it do that already again? I needed it to be there. There we are. That's what we wanted. Yes. Two places you find muleys here. One being Timbergold Trails, the other being Loggers Point. We're going to hunt them tonight on Timbergold Trails. Got a couple of spots up there we like to hunt muleys. We were kicking it around last week, exactly where we wanted to head out, but I think this will give us our best shot at these guys. We think, anyway. If you look at the current leaderboard right now, the biggest one up there on the board is 244. What is he? 244.8819. Now there's four of them up there at 244. Two of them were taken off of Loggers. Two were taken off of Timbergold. So they're on both maps. We're gonna hunt them. Actually, one of the stands that I'm gonna post up at is the big one. The big one was taken just southwest of that stand. So we're in the neck of the woods. We're in the right neck of the woods. So maybe we'll come across the big one tonight. Boy, that would be nice. We'll see how that goes. But we're going to talk about these guys. We're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to go hunt Timbergold. So we're going to talk a little bit about the clothes. You want to make sure that you have to go out there. And of course, we're definitely going to talk about preferred ammo. I don't know. I haven't seen Smoke show up yet in the shop. Oh, he is here already, I see. All right. That's good. We're good to go there. All right, good deal. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about these deer before we move on to the close, okay? So these, at Loggers Point, you can hunt mule deer pretty much all over the map. If you're going to hunt them here at Timbergold, it's the lower region of the map. It's where you're going to find these muleys at. You get up further north and you're getting into your bighorn and of that nature. Pumas up in the northern section up there. Rosy elks more run up there. Now where we're at, we're definitely gonna come across elk. Elk come across here, grizzly come across here. So we're gonna see some grizzly. We're gonna see some gray wolf while we're out on this hunt. So we're gonna be prepared for all of that. I mean, yes, we are targeting the mule deers, but of course we're gonna make sure we got weapons to drop this other game as it comes by, because we will definitely see it. We'll get a little bit more. It's tough for me to bring up. Yeah, it's tough for me to bring up the game. I guess I could do that a little bit later. We'll try that to get into loadouts and things like that. But we'll talk about that when Smoke gets here, about when we talk about the guns. So let's go back. So these guys, they score 20, 200 is a trophy. So 200 and above is a trophy. And they go, supposedly, like I said, they go up to 246. 244 right now is the biggest guy out there. Now they weight, normally their weight, if you're looking and you ain't got scores yet, you can see the weights. So you can judge by the weights. They're going to run about 300. Your average guys are going, You know, they're going to be about, they can get up to about 309 pounds. That's 140 kilos. Now, they say that the big boys in this game can get up to 500 pounds, 230 kilos. But the 244 that scored right now was 282 pounds, 127.9 kilos. And he was brought down with a 9.3 by 74 R. Brought that guy down. That's the current record holder right now for season 41. So you can see they vary a lot in sizes. That's for sure. Now let's talk a little bit about. Let's see if you have that one up there, Bucky. Yes, you do, but you got it in the wrong spot. Let's go back to there. We go. There we are. Boone Crockett action there. Talk about the clothes a little bit. Now, supposedly, the Boone and Crockett, they're going to give you a 5-2-1. That's 5 on your visual, 2 on your scent, 1 on your sound. All right, so these are visual, scent, and sound. So they're a 5-2-1. Your doc. I got him next. Yeah, your docs. And he's giving you 3, 2, and 3. Not too shabby there. The Army is going to give you a 5-2-1. And then your Trapper is going to give you a 3-4-1. So these are kind of where the suits you want to hunt these deer with. Now, you can still use the camouflage stuff, you know, the sneaky 3D stuff. But again, it's giving you no scent and no sound reduction whatsoever. However, it does give you excellent visual as long as you're in that environment. So for Timbergold, it's a fall map. So, and there are open fields and there's forest. So you kind of need both suits if you're going to hunt all over the map, or at least be able to, between the fields, you know, your fall field camo and your fall forest camo, depending on where you're at. And if you get up there, and actually you've got to, even for this map in itself, you can get up into the Alpine when you get all the way up. So there, you've really got three different suits, 4 that would that you'd really need to have all over the place. Now I use a Trapper suit anytime I'm deer hunting on anything, because it's got like I said, it's got that scent knocked down. It's decent on the visual, and as long as you stay quiet and hide, it's an awesome thing. And you don't have to have a different suit for each map. That's why I kind of chose that one, because it is giving me 3, 4, and 1 on my reductions, which is all around pretty good all around. And I can wear that out in the fields, in the forests, so I chose to go that route, and that's why you'll see me wearing that a lot. So what else was next? And like I said, you've got your other ones there, your fall field and fall forest camos that would also work on this guy. All right, that covers all that, Buck. That covers that. We did the leaderboard. Well, that brings us down to ballistic. Let's see if I can even do I have my launcher up? Will it even bring my launcher up? Let's see, Buck. Nope. Because I don't have. There it is. It did work. All right. So we can turn these other guys off then. Turn the clothes off. Turn the map off. Yeah, that worked pretty good. Yeah, we got it up. All right. Smoker, you around, buddy?
I'm around.
I can't hear you. You haven't said nothing. You haven't even come through the door and said hello yet today. What's happening? How are you, sir?
I got in a little late. Didn't want to interrupt you.
That's all right. No problem there. Let's talk a little bit about ballistics here. What do you got? What do you fancy about with these guys? I know we can hunt these guys with a lot of stuff. What do you think?
There's so many good rifles that you could, say are the king of rifles when it comes to deer. But I think in this case, our best options are going to have to be to stick to some of the classics and remember some of our roots, both international and, domestic. So some rounds I think we should really, quickly touch off on would be the 243, the 270, the 3030, the 303, and the 7.62 54R. I think any of these rifles, no matter what your terrain is looking like, are going to be more than adequate.
Now, that one that I don't know a whole lot about, and that's that. What was it? I think it's the something
9.3 by 62.
Yeah, that 62. What's the deal on that guy? You know anything about that thing? That's where does it kind of sit? Is it what's it bigger than and what's it smaller than? Something that I would know. I can't.
Well, I can tell you it's definitely smaller than the 9.3 by 74R.
that I hunt with. Yeah, I kind of figured that.
I would probably have to put that around the 300 win category.
Okay.
It's in the 30-06 range. It's in terms of power at least.
I got ya.
I mean, the beauty part is if you're working domestically, all the 30 cal rifles are all shooting the same round downrange. It's just the primer charge and shape of the cartridge that changes.
Give you that. Now, I know that they did that block wall test on the 74R. I didn't get to see anything on this newer one. I know the knockdown power of that 74R. I was surprised at it. To be honest with you, when I saw those tests. What are they? What's the primary use of this? It's basically. It seems to me that it's close to that 74R, but yet it's just a hair smaller. I mean, what are they?
It is. It would excel for what I would call your small to medium game. Not quite, your little animals, but our bigger animals, what we would call game. Our deer, your bear. I think you could probably go out to lope, maybe kudu with it if you're out in the outback of Africa.
I got you. So that's a nice little weapon to have with you.
I believe it shoots pretty flat too.
Well,
I could be wrong on that. I didn't do a lot of research on that round.
Cool.
I failed. I know I failed.
I thought there's so many of them, and especially a lot of the European calibers that I'm learning from being in the game. I haven't been familiar with a lot of these newer, and some of these calibers are migrating over to the States. I am seeing that a little more in our arsenals over here.
Cartridge that is catching my eye next to it would be the 8 by 57, and that's because I've shot a rifle chambered in 7 by 57. And that is almost identical to 30-06. So just looking at that metric, I'm pretty sure we're just dealing with a really hot 30.
I got you. Well, there again, there's nothing wrong with having a hot 30 either, though.
Oh, I pick on some people who use 300 win for deer, but I think it depends on what you're trying to do, Forgive me if you're a little more advanced in age and you don't want to walk all the way across BFE tracking a deer. Going up a rifle size may be the shot for you because of that factor. If you're more of a marksman, maybe going down a rifle size would be more your spin.
Sounds like you're getting deep in the gun shop.
Oh, this is the beauty of ballistics. We could sit here and this cartridge, that cartridge, that cartridge, this cartridge, this bullet, that bullet, that bullet, this bullet.
Howdy, Mr. Draving. How are you this evening?
Doing good.
Good.
How's everyone else doing?
Pretty
Doing
good.
How about yourself?
Pretty good. We were just chatting about
fishing a little earlier. Now,
yeah.
To hunt.
Well, I went over to close, Jim, and I kind of gave my 2 cents on there as far as going to Timbergold and hunting muleys. Again, but I looked that up. What the game's considering your best stuff would be the Boone and Crockett, your Doc, your Army, and the Trapper. Are you in a? Because I know you've got them all. You've hunted with every bit of this clothing on before. What's your take on on the best clothing to go down here with?
Well, my favorite, I always use Boone and Crockett for deer, but you always want to carry some scent spray with it so you can cover it up, cover up your scent. And if you're, you get a little windy or something, because they will spook on occasion.
Yeah, and I mentioned that's what I was telling everybody, that the your specific Crockett's, or your specific camos, your forest camos, and again the Boone and Crockett is part of that too. They're all very good concealment as far as visual goes, but you step out of that environment and it's no longer a good visual concealment, and they have just about no scent and no sound reduction whatsoever. So.
Correct, yeah. And I don't use scent all the time. If I see a big animal coming and it's a little windy, I'll throw some on. You don't have to use it every time. Very seldom do you have a problem, but you will run into it.
Yeah, like I said, I've had occasion where they stuck their nose up at me, where I thought they should have they should have came in a little closer, and I've been detected even in my trapper suit at times. But I will tell you guys, if you wear the right stuff, and you hunt properly, you get down and you get yourself hidden, these animals will walk damn near right on top of you before they spook. Yeah, they will walk on top of you.
I mean, if you're someone who likes to sit on the ground a lot, I mean, the ghillie is probably the best for concealment, but you can't move. It's actually got a -2 for sound, so you're actually, if you're stationary, you can snipe them from the ground, but you just can't move around very well.
Yeah, because you're actually generating more noise with a ghillie suit than you would be without it when you're walking. Yeah, for sure. All right. That'll take care of all of that. That takes care of Timbergold. So I know we, you and I hunt with bows a lot, but we were talking about the calibers here when you just popped in there. So we were just discussing some of the better weapons that we think we're gonna. As far as a powder weapon goes, Jim, what are you gonna take with you tonight, or are you gonna take one at all?
Yeah, I'll probably take a 7 millimeter tonight, only because I still need a few kills to max that one out, and it'll take some long range shots if you have a 260-meter shot. But primarily I use the bow almost all the time.
Yeah, I was thinking I might just go with, because I've been toting that 74R around a lot, trying to get it leveled up a little bit. But I think tonight I might switch out and actually go after these muleys with a 270.
Yeah, it's a good weapon.
Yeah,
Anytime you use powder, though, obviously you're killing the area. So I'd only recommend using that if it's a trophy size animal, or if you're getting ready to move to another stand or something like that.
exactly. And guys, you'll see when we hunt, you won't hear a lot of powder guns going off. We hunt mainly with bows, and for a good reason. You can your harvest. Let's just say your harvest ratio will increase tremendously if you become proficient with a bow. And the amount of time it takes, the spook rate isn't there. Yes, you're going to spook them, of course, if they're really close by you, but this is a way of hitting multiple animals, especially mule deer. Now, that's something I wanted to talk to you guys about that I didn't talk about with the muleys when we were talking about them specifically. Muleys run in packs. I mean, herds. They're a big herding, which is odd in this game because whitetail buck are like that also. They're not really solo. You will see 3 and 4 buck together. Not in this game though. Not in this game for the whitetail, but the muleys you will. You'll see them what they call in the game. I guess they call it the Brothers 5. Because
the band of brothers.
Yeah, the band of brothers. They'll run in 5. So what you want to do is don't get excited and start zoning in on that first one that you see coming out of the woods. Have patience when you're hunting muleys, because there normally is going to be a couple of them. So wait it out. Have patience. Look around. If you see that first one, if he startles you and he come up from behind, don't just think right away you got to grab this guy because there he is. Take a deep breath. Have patience. Wait.
If he's a 245, I'm taking him.
He's a 245. I'm taking him. Well, yeah. For you experienced hunters, of course, you know him when he walks out with whether you want him or not. Right there. For you young guys, they're just starting out hunting. Have patience with these mule deer. There's normally going to be one to follow. They will run in packs. You will see up to 2 or 3 at least. These males running together. Now the females, they run even bigger, 5 and 6 all the time. You'll see them. If you do see a lone female, it's probably because they got spooked from their herd and they're getting back together. So you'll always see them running together. All right, I think we talked about everything that I had in my notes. Jim, anything you want to add about mule deer hunting and Timbergold? Any of your own personal journal notes, maybe?
For me, I'll sit in stands a lot, but I'll also, find a nice track. Like the higher level you go in tracking, I start looking for, heavier weight tracks, and then track them down. It doesn't guarantee they're going to be big, on horn wise, but on average they will be. Usually a heavier deer in general is going to have bigger horns, but that ain't always the case. Just be prepared for something small and a heavyweight deer. But it'll kind of narrow down on average if you like to track animals down and hunt that way.
Now,
and you can have some success doing that as well.
Exactly. Now, those of us that hunt and track in real life, there's many things to that deer track when you sight it up. Now, Jim, do you find it what in the game? Do you? I guess I'm trying to answer. I'm trying to ask you a leaded question that I already know the answer to, but I'm trying to pull it out of you. When you look at these tracks, how do you look at them and determine? What do you look at to determine whether if that's a male track or is that a female track? And then from there, what the next step would be to look. How do you determine weight and depth in this game? How do you do that?
Like I say, when you first start off, the track is not going to give you very much data, so you kind of got to look for a larger track, spread out. Usually, on the front, when you're looking at the track, the bucks will have a bigger size track that'll spread out a little farther in the front, especially if they're running.
So
however, as you build up your tracking stats, you can see an estimate for the weight. Obviously, when you start, it's a bigger gap. You might say a max estimate on the top, but that's where you have to really pay attention to that bottom number estimate. So if you see, let's say 125 to 140 kilogram track, that's huge. Track that down. But what I tend to do, I'm level 20 tracking for mule deer. So what I usually do is track anything that bottom number is 95 or higher. However, if you're a lower rank, it might have a wider range, so it might be something like a 70 or 75 up to 140. So it may not be as big as you think. It's just because you're low level of tracking, it's going to give you a wider range.
Guys,
so that's why you want to always get 3 tracks from every animal. It'll give you a bonus. Then you get 1 point every track thereafter.
Right.
But at least get those 3 so you get the bonus, and before you know it, you'll keep leveling up and get more and more data.
And guys, when you're out there doing this tracking, when you're walking up on that next track, sometimes you're hoping that you find blood on every track, but you try sign, but you're not going to. You're just going to find whether it's a fleeting track or something, or where they turn down and then it's a trotting track. But as you're walking up on them, pay attention to your glowing tracks on the ground, because that's where you see the track, where you can see the spread in the hoof and determine, you can determine a lot from actually looking at. Don't just walk up there until your hunter mate goes off and click it, and because you're standing over. Actually look at that track on the ground. Don't just okay, I'm on the track and I click it and it says this, okay, and I have to go follow that vector. Look down at that track, see what you're tracking. A lot of times you can't see it. I'll back up before I actually accept the track and make sure that I can see it. I'll back up. Sometimes I have to kneel down on the ground. Depending on the terrain you're in, it may be tough to see that track. But you got to try to get your eyes on it because because there's normally 3 or 4 tracks in each sign that you're picking up. So you'll see 3 or 4 of those legs moving, and you can tell a lot by the last couple of tracks which way the toes are pointing, and it gives you a jump start on, okay, which direction did he go now towards that next track. So pay attention to the ground also. I would say that.
And if you find something you want to check a track on while you're tracking something else, you can click on it one time and then just wait until you get right before the next track and then see what that data is showing you. And then go ahead and click on the one you were tracking again to get back on the correct track.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times you'll get yourself confused because a lot of these deer, when you shoot them, if you don't drop them immediately, they will take the path that they came in on the way out. And you will, if you don't look at that, which way that, because you may come across him where he was roaming on the way in, and that trail will light up because that is that deer, but it was way before you shot him. And if you get yourself sidetracked, you could end up following the damn deer right back to where you shot him because you're on the wrong trail.
Another thing when you're tracking is don't fall for the adage of the arrow says it's going this direction. That's only the way that body was facing when it left the track.
Yep.
A lot of times animals will turn and look at you to see if you're still coming, and then they'll go back and the way they were heading, and in general, where you think they'd cut back or went to the right, where odds are they're probably still going in the same direction. Not to say they can't cut. A lot of times they will cut back or take a 90. But in general, they'll go roughly the same direction with minor turns.
Yeah. For sure. Well, I think we hammered muleys out here. Smoke. Anything you got left to add from our ballistics point of view? What are you taking with you tonight? What are you going to hammer these guys down with?
I'm going to be taking what I got at 243 because I just started the game.
There you go.
But I think a lot of people are going to try and get really close to these animals, and it's not so much like going after a whitetail or a blacktail. Expect, a shot at 50 yards, 100 yards potentially very quickly.
Yep, that's if you're rifle hunting. When you're bow hunting, you're going to call them in there, get them under the tree. If you have to jump out of a tree stand with your bowie, yeehaw. Make sure you land right between the shoulder blades and get a hold of them horns.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank you. We had 8 viewers, concurrent viewers. That's not bad for at least everything went off on time. Nothing, no system crash.
Yeah, we didn't have a bunch of TDs this time.
No system crash. Well, I got smart. A couple hours before everything, I shut my whole system down and made sure it was all nice and fresh and clean coming up for this, so I wouldn't have any problems. All right, guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. We'll be back again next Tuesday night with the gun shop. Tonight, tune in a half an hour. We're going to start this whole shindig here, and we're going to go drop ourselves a couple of muleys. Hopefully we get something up in that 244 range would be nice. Remember, thumbs up, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out the little bell. We'll let you know when we got another one. Never ever give up the fight. We'll see you later. I do have a closing now. I got a closing for this. THC closing. There we go.